Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. My name is Kara. I am so excited to be able to bring you a yoga practice here remotely from home. If you're new and you have not been to my classes that I've taught before, welcome. I hope you enjoy these videos. And if you are a previous student, thank you so much for tuning in. I have missed you guys so much. So welcome back. So before we get started, I just wanted to go over kind of some basics and things for you guys to keep in mind during your sessions and during your practice. So one of those things is just kind of reminding what style of yoga are you practicing. And so the style that I'm trained in and the style that I practice is called Vinyasa. And so what that means is that our poses are linked together kind of in a special fashion, that we are kind of holding those poses for a few breaths at a time, and then we're moving on to the next pose. And then those poses are linked together in order to give us benefits such as muscular strength, flexibility, endurance, and practicing balance. So again, our poses are going to be flowing from one pose to the next and really using our breath in order to help us in those transitions. And so some other things to keep in mind, again, really emphasizing our breath. It's really the most powerful tool that we have in our yoga practice. So getting those deep breaths in and really using our breath to relax our body and essentially get deeper into our poses. With that, we want to really focus in on how our poses are feeling. So paying attention, feeling grounded, feeling solid in our poses. So our feet are really feeling solid in our mat, feeling the ground underneath us. And the same thing if our hands are on the mat, really feeling that ground underneath us, feeling strong. And listening to our bodies if we need to kind of rest on a certain day. Certain days we might feel a little bit more fatigued, and therefore maybe we won't be able to get quite as deep into a pose. So really just keeping that in mind and being gentle with our bodies on the mat. Some things that we need to make sure that we let go of when we come onto our mat. So letting go of competition or judgment. All of us are here kind of selfishly for ourselves. Our yoga practice is something that we aren't going to compare to a person next to us. So if you're practicing with your roommate or your family while you're stuck at home, really just paying attention to yourself, and we're not competing against the person next to us, and we're not judging our performance either. One day to the next it might be different, so just listening in, and being gentle with ourselves in that way, and then also letting go of expectations. So again, when we come onto the mat one day to the next, we're not expecting that we're going to perform better or worse than the day before. That might be something to strive for, but accepting that that might not be the case day to day. So just practicing on the things that we can control, which is our breath and our technique. So along with letting go, we want to let go of expectations and really just emphasize that we're practicing our yoga practice today based on how we feel today. And lastly, staying in the present moment. So we want to make sure that as we go throughout our sessions, something that I usually say is checking in with our bodies here, just making sure that our mind and body are staying present. So it's really easy to get distracted and think about the rest of our day, or think about something that might have happened earlier on in the day. So we really want to let go of all of that stuff and just practice and stay in the present moment throughout our session. So I'm really excited to get going with you guys. So let's get started. So real quickly, some other things that might be important to kind of have around, or that could just help you out with your practice as aids, would be things like pillows, or some of you that are familiar with the yoga practice, we call them bolsters. And so these are things that you can just use if we're coming into a seated position or even final relaxation. You can use them to kind of just give a little cushion to sit underneath, or to pad the knees, just things like that. So feel free to, when you come to these sessions, that you have these things available and ready to go. Other things might be like a yoga block. If you don't have yoga blocks, don't worry. I'm sure that you have like textbooks and things like that around. So those work great. Just make sure that the kind of like the spine of the book is on the ground and that you're hanging on to the non-spine portion of the book. Other things might be like a strap. If you have a yoga strap, they don't have to have these loops. This is just kind of a fancy one that I have. So have a yoga strap, or even like a long towel could work. Just kind of roll it up and then you have, you know, a strap. So yeah, just keep those in mind to bring to your practice.